Is DC stronger than Marvel? The answer is no, but a lot of people seem to think that DC is stronger than Marvel, and that's the popular answer. But the reason I say people think this is because of how they're marketed. A lot of DC's heavy hitters are more on the forefront than Marvel. What do I mean by this? The Justice League tends to have all their heavy hitters stacked. Any and all, well, not all, but a whole lot of heavy hitters in DC you can name are actively on the Justice League because they'll have like 50 plus people. So, like Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, every Lantern, Shazam, Captain Atom, Zatanna, Doctor Fate, Plastic Man, all on the league. Then, of course, in Mark Waid's current Justice League Unlimited, we found out that the other teams in DC have auxiliary meeting rooms in the league, so they could double task while being on the league. So the JSA and Titans technically count, so you could count people like Raven. Whereas Marvel, they're a lot more dispersed. Like, look at these Marvel heavy hitters. So like Quasar, Exodus, Vulcan, Legion, Sentry, Hercules, Beta Ray Bill, Silver Surfer, Hyperion, Gladiator. Tell me where all those people are. Tell me how many of them are on Earth. Tell me how many of those people you actually know. Because some of y'all don't even know some of those people. And a lot of them are in space. Now, common DC complaint is that, like, how many lanterns are on Earth? Because Marvel, I'd say, deems more into their cosmic aspect, which is another preconceived notion that DC has, the fact that they're more God amongst men while Marvel is more relatable, because a lot of Marvel's more higher God tier characters are put in atmospheres that justify their strength in higher tier atmospheres, so they aren't necessarily God amongst men. They're just gods amongst other gods and peers and things of that nature because of how they're shown. And while Marvel, and then of course Marvel has like more popular teams because a lot of people are split between the Avengers and the X-Men. Of course, there's the Fantastic Four, sometimes the Guardians, and then the X-Men. They have plenty of Omegas, but how many X-Men teams do you know that have more than two Omega level mutants? Because they usually cap out at two. Like Marauders during Krakoa, they made a big deal that Kitty had Storm and Iceman on the team as her bodyguards. They kept emphasizing the fact that she had two Omegas because that is a big deal because of how spread they are. And while yes, the Avengers have had people like Hercules, Thor, Hulk, Wanda, Strange, they've had a lot of heavy hitters. They don't tend to stack those heavy hitters all at the same time like DC tends to do with like 50 plus people on the Justice League. So for the end of this, take a look at like pull up a Justice League roster, pull up an Avengers roster, and that'll show you why people think DC is stronger than Marvel in a simple venue because Marvel, the Avengers tend to be more top heavy. So like whatever roster you pull up, tell me how many people on the Avengers roster can actually fight or squabble, even make Thor bleed, and then conversely go to the Justice League roster and tell me how many of those people can squabble with Superman because there's a lot more on that side.